الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. اللهم اجعل جمعنا هذا جمعا مرحوما واجعل التفرق بعده تفرقا معصوما. اللهم ولا تدع فينا شقيا ولا محروما. أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله. كيفك يا حلو؟ شو أخبارك؟ قل لهم شو اسمك؟ والله بألف خير، مشتاق لك حبيب قلبي أنت. قل لهم شو اسمك؟ بسام الشاعر. أحلى تحية لبسام. الله يحفظ لك يا رب. الله يجعلك من الصالحين يا رب إن شاء الله. الله الصالحين المصلحين إن شاء الله. اللهم آمين يا رب. والله مثل هذا ما بنحب. ها؟ الله يحفظ. ها؟ وأحسن إن شاء الله. ادعوا له يصير أحسن مني 100 مرة إن شاء الله. حبيبي بسام ما شاء الله. الله يحفظك يا رب، يسعدك ويجزيك الخير. Okay, respected brother and sister. Inshallah, we are still in the context of, inshallah, dealing with the Quranic verses of Surah AlBaqarah. As you know, just very simple, quick reminder in case if we have a new guests, Jazahumullahu khairan. We are trying our best to deal with the tafsir of the Quran in the following methodology. Very simple language. I'm trying to simplify. I'm trying to highlight things in a very simple, clear way, academic way, as if I'm addressing non-Muslims. It's so simple to this degree. From one angle, to be able to address kids and anyone above kids. From another angle, it could be a helpful way for you to be able to convey Islam for non-Muslims. Just, inshallah, I'm preparing myself, doing this with this intention. So please, another quick reminder. Do you remember the Bayt al-Shi'r, you know, the poem or poetic verses that we said last time? العلم صيد والكتابة قيده قيد صيودك بالحبال الواثقة فمن الحماقة إن أسرت غزالة تتركها بين الخلائق طالقة. Knowledge is like a hunt. Putting or writing a note, it's like when you capture a deer, you know, after chasing a deer, for example, on your horse, you have captured something very valuable. So when you write a note, even in your mobile, all of you have a, you know, you can write a note, stick a note or whatever. The one who does not write notes to review, to fix in their mind, like someone who has spent his time chasing a deer, for example, after he captured this hunt, simply he released after putting all of these efforts. So please do your best. If you don't like to write, at least go listen to this session again from YouTube channel or Facebook channel of Dar Foundation or N.Banat or Dr. Amjad Qourshah, YouTube, Facebook. You have 6 options to listen to the again. Listen, pause, write down, whatever. But please, if you want to be a teacher of knowledge, you have to listen, to write, to review, to read, highlight, explain to others. By this, you will be adapting, you will be acquiring knowledge. This is one of the simple steps in the footsteps of being a alim, inshallah. Okay? Jazakum Allah khair. You never know. Maybe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, inshallah, I ask Allah, all of you to be, everyone single one of you to be from the great alims who are, inshallah, spreading the knowledge. Anyway, so if you remember, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is praising at the beginning, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابِ. This is a great book. لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ. There is no doubts. هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. We explained that this book came for guidance. Huda. Okay? For a special category, which is al-muttaqun. Those who have adapted the concept of taqwa within themselves. Then the verses started explaining the most important characteristics of those muttaqin. Number 1, yu'minuna بالغيب. And we highlighted the concept of غيب, 2 sessions or 3 sessions ago. قال then ويقيمون الصلاة. We highlighted the concept of إقامة. It's not just يصلي, it's يقيمون الصلاة. Go and listen if you would like. Today we will start with ومما رزقناهم ينفقون. Then we have another category which is والذين يؤمنون بما أنزل إليك وما أنزل من قبلك. Then we have وبالآخرة هم يوقنون, as if the Quran is giving you in a very brief way the most important let's say points, topics, areas, name it, it's no problem. These areas should be within you if you want to be from the true believers, or otherwise a pillar is missed. So يؤمنون بالغيب يقيمون الصلاة. Finished. Now ومما رزقناهم ينفقون. Now this characteristic is talking about rizq, which is the gift, the bounty. What anything is given from Allah to you is rizq. Okay? Then how wonderful, how great Quran is when Allah is praising us, if we are believers, that we are applying the concept وَمِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُمْ يُنْفِقُونَ. So we have more than one concept that we will be highlighted now. Concept number 1, what is the rizq? This will lead us to types of rizq. Okay? Number 2, how we should be spending or doing or applying or giving or spreading or paying the zakah of this rizq. Okay? Then, how can we increase the channels of rizq? So we will know what rizq is. Okay? How to spend it. How to bring more. Because we are more or less like a bank account. We have in, out. So in business, you have ways how to increase your profits. And sometimes, if you don't care what happens, wrong, bills, fraud, whatever links could be taking your money. Your money could be, khalas, you don't care, you don't chase, you don't follow up, you don't listen, you don't phone your bank, blah, blah, whatever. Everything is messed up. What happened? I don't know. Sometimes a telephone call, a wrong link, whatever. وَلِلَّهِ الْمَثَلُ الْأَعْلَى. Okay, now the first concept. What is rizq? Generally speaking, anything is given to you from Allah is rizq, generally speaking. So, your iman is rizq. Gifts. The fact that you exist is rizq. The fact that you exist and you have the power of intellect to realize that you are someone who exists and you have an ability to know your Lord is rizq. However, most of people, especially Muslims, when rizq is mentioned, our mind in somehow, for many reasons, goes to that rizq is just money, which is a big mistake. Like, now, without us paying attention to this concept, when we see rich, wealthy people in terms of the money, just the money, we say, Ya akhi, ma sha Allah, Allah ma'ti ya akhi niyalu. This is in the slang language. Allah ma'ti. Ya akhi, wow, niyalu. I wish if I were him. Allah gave him a lot. MashaAllah. When we see wealth, money, but subhanallah, we don't pay attention to other types of rizq. So, first, number 1 fixing misconception, money is one simple type of rizq. And it could be not necessarily something good. It's a test. Simply, and by the way, any type of rizq, any type of gifts, it's a test. Because this rizq or this gift or this given thing actually was given to you not because you deserve it. It's for testing you. How many people Allah gave them wealth, for example, and health and power? What did they do, some of them? They used the money, for example, to spread drugs. They used the power to kill. They used the authority to spread corruption. So, okay, wealth, health, power. End result, they signed on the guarantee to deserve the bottom of Jahannam. So, it's a test. So, first of all, we need to know that, please, we need all the time to appreciate all types of rizq. From types of rizq that many of us, we don't pay attention to, as I said, for example, the fact that you are a believer. The fact that you know Allah. The fact that you are a Muslim, it's a rizq. It's a high rank of a rizq. Let's go to something we don't. Mahabbatun nas. The fact that the people around you love you. The fact you have a family. It's a rizq. The fact you have a health. طبعا, I'm not exaggerating. I'm just deriving this from many hadith, such as Man bata. Who knows the hadith? Man bata ايش؟ ايوه جزاك الله خير. آمنا في سربه معافا. I will explain. في بدنه عنده قوت يومه فقد حيزت له الدنيا بحذافيرها. One of the prophetic hadith, paying attention for our minds, how to review all types of rizq that we might not be paying attention to. Because the ayah says, ومما رزقناهم ينفقون. We need to know this infaq, this spending should be from what? Money? No, not just the money is 1 out of 10s. We need to know what is the thing that we are supposed to spend from. Money is one. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ says, the one who went to his, he is about to spend his night to go to sleep. And he is in the status that he is enjoying the following 3 categories. Sorry. أنا أخطأت. إيش قلت أنا؟ جزاك الله خير. I'm sorry. I made a mistake. من بات it's من أصبح. جزاك الله خير. هو ذكرني فيه. بارك الله فيك. شكرا. طب وين جبت من بات أنا هاي؟ ها؟ هكذا أحفظها أنا. روايتين يا سيدي. على كل حال. If I made a mistake من أصبح من بات, the idea, the one whom has spent a day or a night, a span of a time, okay? Enjoying the status of he is secure in his way, which means no threat of being killed, assassinated, someone will do something bad against him. He is secured. No threat for his body, for existence, from one angle. Then, قال معافا في بدنه. The well-being of his body is completely, he's not suffering, he's not, out of pain, he's not screaming out of pain, just simply, he can sleep without pain. قال عنده قوت يومه. He has the food just to have for one day. He is someone, should be described as someone قال حيزت له الدنيا بحذافيرها. The whole world has been seized completely for him. Which means, what do you need more than that? This does not mean don't seek more than that. It's just to pay your attention. If you said, okay, I have nothing. Who told you that you have nothing? Who told you if you have nothing? One of the scholars, I remember, from those people who said, okay, I have nothing. Allah did not give me anything. He was a poor in terms of wealth. So if you ask a poor person now, come, how much do you pay for me to give me? I will pay you money for your finger. How much do you? Just the finger. Just the finger. By the way, let me ask you. If I paid $1,000 for any one of you, would you accept to chop or to cut your finger for me? 10,000. Seriously. Seriously, I'm not joking. Imagine that, a multi-billionaire, and I'm ready to make a bargain with any one of you. Let's start. Do it seriously. Please try to live the situation as if it's a reality. I'm paying $10,000 for you if you accept to just to cut your finger. Do you accept? 100,000. 1 million. Okay, 1 million we will have for your finger. Seriously, I'm not joking. Some people will accept because some people might sell their kidneys. Okay, 1 million for one finger. Okay, who's ready to accept 1 million for one finger? Just 1, 2, 3. Okay, type. I will pay you 1 million to take one of your full hands, full arm. You accept? But 10 millions. One arm, full arm.
Do stuff without a finger.
10 millions for your arm. Do you accept, yes or no? No. 100 millions. Are you thinking about it? Okay, seriously, good. No, I need this natural consequence. 100 million, I'll think about it. Type. 1 billion. 1 billion for your arm. 10 billions. Is it possible to accept?
I'm ready for 10 billion.
10 billion. Okay. 10 billion for your one eye.
Never.
Just say yes or no, without discussion. 10 billion for one eye. 1 trillion for one eye. 2 trillions for one eye. No price?
Maximum finger, nothing else.
3 billion. 3 billion? Tab 1 trillion. No. What about 2 eyes? What about a kidney? What about the heart?
You can buy kidney, just $500 in India.
You know, my point was just, it's for me as well. I'm addressing myself. Sometimes when they say, what do I have? What has Allah given me? I say, wait. Just if you want to give a value for part of the health that you are enjoying, you are a multi-trillionaire. Because now you have a proof that you are not ready to accept. Forget the millions. Millions are nothing, change. Even billions are changed. We are discussing trillions now. For one eye. Which means for you, the value of one eye is more than trillions. Even there's no value because you refuse to sell it. So when Allah, this is priceless, completely. So when we talk about rizq, please, the fact that there is someone loves you is rizq from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The fact you have a community who understand and respect you, it's rizq from Allah. The fact you can just hold your phone and make a phone call, 10 people might come to support you in any problem, it's rizq. Knowing the good people is rizq. Having a nice father is rizq. Having a wonderful mother is rizq. Having brothers and sisters, you know, the blood brothers and sisters is rizq. Having sisters and brothers in faith is rizq. So, first concept, please, rizq is money plus tens of other things. Anything you are given by Allah is part of the rizq. Now the ayah says, ومما رزقناهم what? ينفقون. It's very clear, because this is the only thing that all of us, we agree upon. When you have money, you have to spend. Sadaqah or zakah. It's very clear. Spend. I'm not gonna highlight now tens of ways and the virtues and the fadl as sadaqah for the money. It's very clear and very well known, which is amazingly tens of things. But I want to pay your attention how to do the spending of rizq from the other types. Because many of us, we don't pay attention to that. Yani, if I have money, it's very clear. I have to pay the zakah. Number 1, which is compulsory. 2.5 out of my wealth, very well known. In addition to the zakah, which is the compulsory donation, we have the sadaqah, the extra added donation, which is open. You can make a sadaqah of 5%, 10%, 50%, it's an open. Whatever you give, Allah will give you much more, tens and hundreds of times. Yes, it will be multiplied tens and hundreds of times. Type. Let's go to other types now. You have the rizq of a very strong body. How you are gonna spend from this rizq. This is rizq. Imagine that I have a very strong body. Is it by my choice or it's a gift from Allah? It's rizq. The fact that I have very strong bones, I have a very huge body, very strong. Okay, the fact that I have a good circumstances to have a good food, a good nice, genetically my father is tall, my mother is tall, I'm very powerful, I can fight anyone and beat him. This is rizq. Okay, let's see, this is by the way, rizq plus it's a test. I could be using the power of my body, which is rizq, in what? Kill people. Injustice. You know, I could be a gangster, troublemaker, a drug dealer, holding a knife with me. Who dares to speak with me? You know, in some Arabic countries, we call them al-baltaji or al-futuwa or whatever. You know baltaji? طب بالانجليزي شو بيحكوا لهم انا؟
I think it's واحد
gangster بالمعنى البلطجي اللي بينزل وبضرب الناس gangster, which is I have already said. Okay, so I could be using my body in this, and I can use my body to stop criminals and to defend weak people. This is the spending and infaq from my rizq. When I come to the neighborhood, if there is a bad guys who are threatening the people, I tell the weak people, if anyone dares to speak with you, just call me. I'm using the power against the injustice to bring things to justice. For example, type. I'm a very clever person in mathematics and physics. I can solve any equation. I can study easily, blah, blah, blah. So one of my best rizq is what? The cleverness, let's say. Not just necessarily, but let's say in the mathematical way, I'm clever. But how could be the spending from my rizq? Okay, it's a test. I could be losing this by doing what? Arrogance. You know, stupid students. You don't understand, idiots. How many people they have this attitude? Ya Allah. You go, yes, I mean at schools, at universities, yes, you know. And the true believer who was given this rizq should be spending from it, doing what? Teaching, giving the knowledge, helping, explaining, bring the poor people who can't understand, who can't pass the exam, they don't have a money to pay for a teacher, go and pay from the rizq. Oh, yes?
I just wanted to add a comment about people who have arrogance when it comes to knowledge. I think you gave a khutbah a long time ago about
Qarun.
and his attitude of إنما أوتيته على علم.
Jazakallah khair, yes. He reminded us, Jazakallah khair, with a very clear example in the Quran. You know Qarun? Qarun, he was from the people of Israel who were living in Egypt at that time under the pharaohs who were torturing them, oppressing them. Amazingly, even though his people, they were tortured, they were oppressed, he himself, he was very close from the authorities, the pharaoh and his people. And he was, in our language, a multi-trillionaire. Because Allah described him as قال وآتيناه من الكنوز ما إن مفاتحه لتنوء بالعصبة أولي القوة. You know, holding the keys of the gates of the treasures need Usba from 3 to 9, average 7 strong men to hold the keys. So try to calculate. Multi-trillionaire, not a billionaire. When he was advised to fear Allah, to be humble, to use what he was given, you know, what was his reply? قال إنما أوتيته على علم عندي. Hey, don't waste your time with me. This is my money and I have achieved this money by my own self. Which is completely, he detached Allah from the complete equation, as if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has nothing to do with his. The end result قال فخسفنا به وبداره الأرض. So now we need to know that rizq is many types. So please generalize it. Okay? Be sympathetic. Feel with others. Do the donation and sadaqah from all types of rizq that you have. And let me give you another example. Then you do the analogy, qiyas by yourself. If you have we have a lot of people, they were given the very beautiful, nice character. They have a very strong network. So in their mobile, you can find 3,000 contacts, 5,000, 10,000 contacts. Any place he goes, easily he can phone 10, 15 people. Okay. How should be the infaq of this rizq? Jazakallah khair. Connecting people. Hey, please, brother, I have a problem. I need don't worry. Hello, brother. Okay, Jazakallah khair. Okay, I will give you his number. Tafaddal, go ahead. You saved his time, his power, his money, or something. You did. This is part of your rizq. The fact that you know a lot of good, nice people. You are Mr. Google. You have data. Connect. This is your sadaqah. Let people know each other, save their time, save their power, save whatever, and so on and so on. This is the types of rizq, and Allah is praising the mu'mineen to do what? ومما رزقناهم what? ينفقون. Yes, brother, someone raised his, yes.
It's like the wasta is haram or like the connection?
Oh, he's asking about the connection, okay, which is we called wasta. When you go and do some kind of pressure on someone to help someone else, is this haram? It depends. You have two channels, one of them highly praised, one of them, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, مَنْ يَشْفَعْ شَفَاعَةً حَسَنًا وَمَنْ يَشْفَعْ شَفَاعَةً سَيِّئَةً. So Allah called that there is shafa'a hasana and shafa'a, which means you have a connection. Someone is in a trouble. You used your relations, your connections to solve a problem, or without doing haram against anyone, without attacking the rights of anyone else. This is shafa'a hasana. It's a connection that has been used in a good sense for the sake of Allah, and you will be rewarded inshallah. Okay? Like for example, someone who does not know how to defend himself. He does not know that he has rights and what attorney, what firm, what lawyer, what solicitor he should be going. And he lost part of his properties because someone else is attacking him, and he's a very simple, naive person. I called the court, I called the judge, I spoke with the law firm, and I arranged everything for him because he does not know the scheme, does not know. Okay, it is wasta, but I've not done haram thing. I'm not changing the law. I'm not pushing someone to bring someone to the jail without he deserves. No, I'm helping someone who's about to lose his right, but he's so weak that he does not know. Now, when the connection will be completely haram, if I use this power to do injustice, to seize the right of the others, to attack the others, to hide the haqq or whatever, it will be haram. It's like when we speak about the sadaqah. Sadaqah, is it haram? Is it in all cases when you do sadaqah in front of the people, it's riya, showing off? إن تبدوا الصدقات فنعما هي وإن تخفوها وتؤتوها الفقراء فهي خير لكم. Sometimes letting the people be aware that this sadaqah is very important, you will be rewarded. Just you have to what? To handle your niyyah, your intention. Okay? So now the good news in the whole package. Allah said, وَمِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُمْ يُنْفِقُونَ. What does this mean? You are asked to do parts, not everything. Because you need. Allah created you on the base that you have needs. You need to put something for you to protect yourself. Allah is just asking you to donate or to help in part of the rizq, not the whole rizq. And we have tens of evidences on that. One of them, Prophet Muhammad said, قال لأن تذر أهلك أو عيالك أغنياء خير من أن تذرهم عالة يتكففون الناس. Which means, hey, don't misunderstand the system. Allah is not asking you to forsake and to give up everything you have, and you come and say, without understanding, and say, look, isn't it true that Allah is a Razzaq? Yes. Is the money the property of Allah? Yes. So why should I leave any kind of inheritance or money for my kids? Let me donate everything, and Allah will give them rizq. Intentionally, I decided not to leave anything for them. Is this acceptable? No. Do wasiyya well, do sadaqah, but humanly speaking, within the law, أخذ بالأسباب, to take the possible means, do your best, okay, without fearing, and if Allah decided to let everything disappear, it's His decision. Flood came and took everything. An earthquake destroyed everything. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله. The one who decided to take the rizq, he is the one who decides when to give another rizq. It's not my decision. But I'm asked to do مما رزقني. Okay? This mimma, which is part of, could be 1%, could be 50%, could be 10%. It's up to you, between you and your relation with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, the third characteristics, we say يؤمنون بالغيب, يقيمون الصلاة, from all types of rizq, continuously. Have you paid attention? ينفقون, not just أنفقوا, they have done it once, no, all the time. It's a present sense. It's a present continuous in English, which means all the time. Okay? Now, let's go to next one. وَالَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِمَا أُنزِلَ إِلَيْكَ وَمَا أُنزِلَ مِنْ قَبْلِكَ. Now, I think it's a good chance to highlight something that many non-Muslims don't know about us as Muslims. From my experience as someone whose field is comparative religions, and I deal with a lot of non-Muslims, and I deal with a lot of Muslim reverse and converse in different countries around the world, I discovered that the majority of non-Muslims, they don't know the reality about Islam. One of the main reasons, that's the media. The mainstream media always trying to destroy the image. So, for many reasons, the people, they have no true knowledge about the beauty of Islam and about our relation with others. Now, Allah is describing true believers, al-muttaqeen, with a character, يُؤْمِنُونَ بِمَا أُنزِلَ, they believe in what has been revealed to you, O Muhammad, which means Quran and Sunnah. قال وَيُؤْمِنُونَ بِمَا وَمَا أُنزِلَ مِنْ قَبْلِكَ. Let's highlight this. This is very important. How many non-Muslims, they know, especially Christians, on specific, Christians and Jews, but on specific Christians. You know, the majority around us now, they're Christians. How many of them, they know how do we look to Jesus Christ? What is the status of Mary alayha salam in our faith? How many? How many people know that Khadija, who's Khadija by the way? Who's Khadija? The wife of, the first wife of Prophet Muhammad. Can you tell me how many chapters about Khadija do we have in the Quran? How many chapters? How many verses? Nothing. Her name is not mentioned. طيب. After Khadija passed away, the most beloved one to the heart of Prophet Muhammad was Aisha. True or false? How many chapters with the name Aisha we have in the Quran? 0. How many verses talking about Aisha and praising Aisha and the beauty of Aisha and the virtues of Aisha? How many? We don't have. The only time Aisha was referred to, it was when she was accused of committing the adultery, and Allah defended her with the special ayat. It was a problem of accusation. Wow. طيب, do we have a special chapter about Virgin Mary? Surah Maryam. Yes, salam. Yes, salam. How many Arabs and Muslims around the world, their wives, mothers, sisters, daughters, they hold the name Maryam, Mary? Millions. Out of respect for the character and for the name. True or false? The question, how many non-Muslims know this? How many non-Muslims know that Allah is commanding us to believe in all prophets and messengers before us? If you don't believe in them, you are what? You are a non-Muslim. If you don't believe in Jesus, in his existence as a prophet, as a messenger, Musa alayhi salam, Moses, Abraham, David, Solomon, Joseph, all of them, it's not to believe in their existence and to respect them. In our faith, if you made a joke mocking a prophet, you are committing what? Blasphemy. You know what blasphemy means? Blasphemy is to commit an act of kufr. You will be leaving the fold of Islam if you made a joke against a prophet. How many non-Muslims know that about? You know chapter Mary? Sometimes, some people, by the way, some people, they became Muslims, especially Christians. Because, you know, Virgin Mary for them, it's a great personality. Actually, it's not just great. For the Catholics, she's the mother of God. And some Catholics, even, they look at her as a divine being. It's not any, but they don't know that the amount of respect that we have for Mary alayhi salam, for all prophets and messengers. We don't have not even one single bad word against a prophet or a messenger. You need to know that. Not just to, I mean, you know that. But the point, how many others from the non-Muslims know this? You need to educate them. Let them know. Let them read. Why I'm saying that? Because now Allah is addressing you and me and telling us, if you want to be from the muttaqeen, you have to believe in them. Believing in them includes respecting them with the highest, level of respect. Now, in this context, let me just pay your attention to the following. Just for the sake of, in case, if you were asked by non-Muslims about, okay, how do you view us? How do you look, at us basically? You as a Muslim, you should be someone who believes in the following. We believe that Allah is the creator. The creator created everything, including, the human being. The beginning of the human being, Adam alayhi salam. Allah, when he created Adam alayhi salam, for the story that he decided to let Adam and Eve come down to earth after they ate from the tree. It's part of his wisdom and part of his will. Now, he asked us to be khulafa. Inni ja'alun fil ardi khalifa. Which khalifa means, a successor. That we will be living on this earth, a generation will be successing another generation, which means like handing the flag for each other. And قال وَاسْتَعْمَرَكُمْ فِيهَا. Allah is asking us to do imara, to establish and to spread goodness and well-being on this earth. And He equipped us with the fitrah. Fitrah means the inner nation, the innate nature, which includes the basic minimum needs, requirements of realizing good and bad, right and wrong. Then this was completed with revelation, the completion between the fitrah and the full system. This revelation by Allah's will, Allah's wisdom, was to every single group in their time with a specific messenger and a prophet or prophets for a specific people in a specific time, in a specific place, okay? Now we know from them, this is in the context of explaining what does it mean that we believe in بما أنزل وما أنزل من قبلك, okay? Now, those, all of them, we know by names, 25 of them, such as Adam alayhi salam, such as Abraham, Ibrahim alayhi salam, such as Noah, Nuh alayhi salam, such as Idris, Abraham, David, Solomon, Joseph, Jacob, John the Baptist, okay, Jesus, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We know 25 by names, okay, Salih, Hud alayhi salam, by names. However, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said in a hadith, which is, the authenticity is acceptable, that the number of the messengers more than 300, around 300 plus, and prophets more than 124,000. A messenger is someone who is sent with a revelation and a new sharia, a new law, but on the same religion in terms of values and faith. Okay? The prophet is the one who is sent after a messenger on the same sharia, but following the same messenger. Like, for example, Moses is the messenger and the prophet of the people of Israel. Musa alayhi salam. Now who came after him, such as Dawood alayhi salam, Sulaiman alayhi salam, Yahya alayhi salam. All of those are prophets for the message of Moses. Okay, this is the messenger and this is what? The prophet. So we have an indication, Prophet Muhammad, that messengers more than 300, prophets more than 120,000. We know from them just now. However, Allah said in the Quran, وَرُسُلًا لَمْ نَقْصُصْهُمْ عَلَيْكَ, and other messengers that we have not told you about. And Allah said in the Quran, وَمَا كُنَّا مُعَذِّبِينَ حَتَّى نَبْعَثَ رَسُولًا. We will not punish anyone unless after sending a messenger. So, taking this in, then we believe that all of us, but very important, everyone was sent to a specific people in a specific time, in a specific place. The only messenger and only message that was the final, the seal of messages and messengers in our faith is Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The final of this chain of prophets and messengers. And by the way, just one pause, small pause. All of them, they came with one religion in terms of faith and values, no change. Same religion. All of them came, worship one God, who is Allah. All of them, they came, worship Him. Respect the parents. Don't lie. Don't commit zina. Don't drink alcohol. All of them. Values and faith, all of them, they came preaching that there is a hereafter. Preaching that there is a resurrection and congregation, and ba'th wa nushur. Preaching that there is accountability after death, which is al-akhirah. All of them. However, different what? Sharia, different laws, different practical, technical things, which is not a problem. You fast 10 days, they fast 30 days, they pray twice, we pray 5 times. That's not a problem. It's Allah's decision. Once Allah decided to let, by the way, many people, they don't know. You know, part of the people of Israel at a part of their time, because you know, Judaism, historically, the age of Judaism now is 3,500 years nearly now, which is more than us with 2,000 years. At a certain part of their time, you know, we have the concept of tathir al-najasat. Have you heard this? We as Muslims, we have the concept of, just to give you an idea about different shari'as. Now, for us Muslims, the most well-known najasat, which is the physical impurity. Okay? Ritual, physical impurity. Blood, urine, stool, and what comes when you vomit out of your body. They are called najasa, not just dirty like the soil or the sweat. This is dirty, but this is najasa. It's a ritual, physical impurity, okay? Now, blood is one of them. Urine is one of them. For us, if you have najasa on your clothes, basically what you do? You wash it. Once the water touches the place, okay, and cleans it, the problem is finished. It is now pure, tahir, okay? You go and pray. Do you know that at a certain time of their history, Jews, if a Jewish had a najasa on his clothes, what was the verdict? What was the hukum? he has to cut the piece of cloth. Even if he washed it by water, still it's najis. You have to get rid of the whole piece out of your body. So it was very difficult, but it was Sharia. By the command of Allah at a certain time. It's not your decision, my decision. It's Allah's decision. That's the indication of قال وليحل لكم بعض الذي قال ولأرفع عنكم إصركم والأغلال التي, to take off part of the difficulties, boundaries and limits that they were sent or put in you. Anyway, we believe that this what has happened. So we respect all of them. We believe in their existence. We believe that they received the message. They did convey the message. We believe in all of them, and we believe that in the Deen inda Allah al-Islam, which means all of them, they preached the core content of Islam, which is believing in one God and the Akhirah. And however, the Sharia, which is the practical. By the way, one of the funny things, someone asked me, I once was asked by a Canadian lady, she asked me, I have a big problem with the Sharia law. What do you think about that? I said, with all due respect, do you know what's the meaning of Sharia in Arabic? She said, chopping hands, chopping heads, something like that. I said, actually the word Sharia means law. Sharia law means the law of the law. Said what? I said Sharia means Torah. What? Said Torah in Hebrew means Sharia. It means the whole teachings of Islam. But it's the media that plays this dirty game with, playing with the concepts or highlighting or making lies or whatever. So we believe in this. Now I'm trying to highlight to you. So believe in all of this. However, we believe once Prophet Muhammad was sent, everything was what? Abrogated. Have you heard this terminology? Mansukh, nusakh. Abrogation, which means once Muhammad was sent, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, everything previously was sent now is freezed, not valid anymore. وَلِلَّهِ الْمَثَلُ الْأَعْلَى. I will give you that simple example. It's like when Microsoft announced, once we release, for example, Windows 13, all previous versions are not valid and we will not accept them in all of our computers. It's their decision. Do they have the right to do so?
Final update.
Huh?
Islam is the final update.
Yes, final updates. By the commandment of the same source. The source who sent Windows 95, Windows 98, Windows 2000, Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10, Windows 11. The same source who said, if you accept this, you have to accept that. Clear? So it's just to make it simple to you. How do we look now? All of due respect, this is what we believe in. This is what we accept. We consider the previous messengers, all of them, messengers of Allah, no right to look down to any one of them. Full respect like Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Any mistake against them, willingly you are committing an act of kufr. But the message for us is khalas, it's finished, it's not valid anymore. We believe in the final message, which is the Islam, which contains Quran and Sunnah. So when we say, Allah is praising the muttaqeen by saying, وَالَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِمَا أُنزِلَ إِلَيْكَ. What was أُنزِلَ إِلَيْكَ? Quran and Sunnah. وَمَا أُنزِلَ مِن قَبْلِكَ. It's an amazing ethical direction from Allah to us that don't be, Wallahu a'lam, my understanding, don't forget, you are a continuation of a long chain of believers, but you are the final of them. So they have the right on us to respect them, to deal with them, but you have to be honest, to say what you believe and why, because it's a matter of faith. By this, we finished the 4 categories. What are the first one? الذين يؤمنون بالغيب ويقيمون ومما رزقناهم والذين يؤمنون بما أنزل إليك وما أنزل من قبلك. Now the final one, وبالآخرة هم يوقنون. Now I will stop now because the akhirah needs a special treatment and tackling. Akhirah. Because we think it's something very simple. Because you will be amazed to know how many times the akhirah is mentioned, and which is the hereafter. Okay? The end. What is the next time we will be highlighting what is the importance of believing in the akhirah. How can I use the akhirah to strengthen my faith? What if we don't know anything about the akhirah? What if Allah has not mentioned anything about the akhirah? We will be highlighting this next time, inshallah. If you have any question, yes, please, tafadhal.
How would we confront? Canada has a values like gender equality. So you mentioned some of the Christians, they believe women was also like Maryam God. But in our belief, we don't have the image of God, but they have the image of God, youth as well as women. So how we will confront?
In a very simple ethical way, we don't accept this. It's unacceptable. It's not part of our faith. And if anyone does that, we consider it completely outside of the fold of religion. It's completely rejected. I mean, brother, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says to Prophet Muhammad, In anta illa nadhir. You are just a warner. You tell what you believe. Next step is not your problem and your duty, because you, me, I, we, all of us, we don't control the hearts of إنك لا تهدي من أحببت. It's not up to you to bring them or he or she to guidance. You just say, that's what I'm telling you. What do you believe, a Muslim? I believe in 1, 2, 3, 4. What I have to do? What do you think about this? Unacceptable. I reject this because this is against the respect of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why? Because Allah is the most transcendent, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the most high, and this is against this. I reject, I don't accept it. Period. Very simple.
Because they have their own imam also. Sometimes they pray, so women leave the prayer. So that's the reason I'm asking. Maybe sometimes
You mean non-Muslims, they have imam?
Muslim here, out of gender equality, they have their own mosque, they leave the prayer, do not prayer, sometimes.
Imam masjid.
Maybe I come across sometimes they will ask, oh, Christian has their women God and we don't have. So that's the reason.
Brother, I think this very sensitive issue should be discussed on a political and intellectual and religious level with the leaders. And we can't solve very sensitive issue just by talking what Islam thinks about it in simple, because it is mixed between politics, media, intellectual and religious. And you know that. It's not just simply they have, what should we say? No. It's much more complicated than this. And I prefer this should be discussed on a leaders level. Well, Jazakallah khair. Yeah. Yeah.
من ان احنا دلوقتي محدش فينا يتخيل سيدنا ابي بكر يدرس البروفيت محمد say something like لما بلغت الله ورسوله الجيش سيدنا عمر قال سيدنا ابو بكر راح جايب كل ثروته والرسول ما انكرش عليه ذلك.
نعم.
فدي حاجه تقول ان هو يعني مش من الاسلام او انت تصنف والبطون محدش هيقدر يعمل حاجه زي كده دلوقتي. بس الرسول ما انكرهاش. لو في حد عنده القدره يعمل حاجه زي كده ليه نيجي
storage is full. No problem. I will take it from you. The brother is asking, and we'll make it the final question, inshallah. He's asking, we said, generally speaking, about sadaqah or spending, we are not asked to spend everything we have. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is praising when He said, ومما رزقناهم ينفقون. He's praising those who take some part of what they have. Then He mentioned the very famous example of Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu in a very well-known incident when they were in need at the Medina to collect some donations for a very poor group of people. You know, the Sahaba, they started bringing what they have. Umar al-Khattab, he said, now I will beat Abu Bakr for the first time in my life. And he brought half of what he owns, for example. Then Abu Bakr came and he brought everything he owns. So this could be contradicting this. I said no, not necessarily. Now, as we say in Arabic, لكل قاعدة استثناء. We have always exceptions. Exceptions are not the principle. Now, Prophet Muhammad knows who is Abu Bakr, and he knows the context. Plus, when we say he brought everything he owns, this everything does not mean ultimately 100% everything. Like, for example, if you told me, now, do you have money? I think I only have just $500, which means the cash that I have in my pocket now and I can use now. However, don't I have a car? Don't I have if I don't, for example, if I own a house, don't I have at least maybe 5 jackets, 10 t-shirts? Don't I have 2 shoes, 5 trousers? All of this, I own them. When I go and give everything I have, I will not take my clothes and go naked, for example. I will not give them their car and I will start begging. But all the cash that I have at that time, I gave it, which means everything I have now. This is one of the possible understanding of the context. But the idea, it does not contradict, because it's an exception from the case, which could be giving the following message. If you are sure that you can control yourself without having any kind of bad consequences, it's your decision. But the general rule, سيروا بسير أضعافكم, which means, take care of the weak or take care of the average. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is dealing with us subhanahu wa ta'ala justly. ومما رزقناهم. He's praising you when you do some. If you want to do full, exception of the principle. Exceptional case, VIP. VIP, they are not the general. We call them VIP, special. Wallahu alam. Yes, for example, when your will, okay, you have just, you have the rights to write about your will, about those who will inherit you just by the third. You have no right in your will to say, for example, I want to donate for such and such more than the third of what you have, because it's indirect way sometimes to spread hatred with those who will inherit you. It's amazing. It's part of their rights. Wallahu alam. طيب, جزاكم الله خيرا. Thank you very much, inshallah. See you بإذن next Tuesday, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allowed us to stay alive, and we will talk about وبالآخرة هم يوقنون بإذن المولى عز وجل. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. Storage of the